President Biden. My name's Senior at the college, and I'm the Vice President of the student body here.
Isn't it a bitch? I mean, excuse me. Vice President thing? Whoa. How do you feel about it now? I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
We've definitely had our
best
struggles.
Decision ever made. I'm joking. That was a joke. That was a joke.
I hope you love your job.
I do, actually.
All right.
I love the guy I work with.
My question is, so you talked a lot about how America should and needs to continue to lead on the global stage. And in many parts of the world, citizens really admire the role that America plays. But having grown up abroad, I've also seen that in many parts of the world, America still carries a, unfortunately, very negative connotation. The name America is not connected to often positive reputations. So I want to wonder, A, why do you think this is? And B, what can the government do, but also we as individual citizens do to help change that?
Well, first of all, it's important, and I know I said this 8 years ago, and people keep reminding me of the quote, but I still believe it. It's important that America lead not merely by the power, the example of its power, but by the power of its example. So that's why from the time we've come to office, we've tried to do everything to demonstrate that, what our motives are, to try to be as transparent, and do everything from this god-awful fight we still have trying to shut down Guantanamo to the organizations and groups we fund and how we respond. And so there are a lot of historical reasons. There's a lot of historical baggage and mistakes that America has made. And so one of the things you're seeing, though, if you take a look at now, the Pew Foundation worldwide poll, America is once again the most respected nation in the world. It's changing, but it's painfully difficult to change. There's a lot to overcome in certain areas of the world, some justified and some not justified. And that's why when I laid out for you why America should lead, America cannot and should not attempt to lead alone, even if it had the capacity to do it all by itself. It's critically important that in the Middle East, that there be a Arab consensus, not the United States once again imposing the will in the minds of people, especially in an area of the world where there is such immense poverty. The same way in Asia. There's an awful lot to overcome, but it takes time, but it works pretty quickly. And so what is happening is there's still a lot to overcome. But one of the things you can do, the most important thing you can do, and a lot of you will travel around the world, is understand something very clearly. That folks in other parts of the world they're just as smart as you. They're just as good and decent as you. And stop this attitude, not you. We should stop the attitude of, what can I do for you? It's what can I do with you? We have to stop being patronizing, that somehow we have all the answers. Those of you who follow me, I've traveled 1 million miles now around the world. I've gotten to meet every world leader, I believe, since 1973, just because of the nature of my job. And, it matters, how we approach other nations. Because remember, there is a built-in, it's understandable, a built-in resentment for the mere fact of who we are. We could be absolutely perfect. There's a built-in resentment. We are wealthy. We are secure. We are open. We have great opportunities that other nations don't have. How many of you guys are really overjoyed with the guy who's the really good-looking guy who walks in the party and all the girls turn and look at? You go, isn't he wonderful? Come on, guys. And how many of you girls were overwhelmingly joyful for your best friend when she was named homecoming queen and you weren't? Come on, man. Look, all foreign policy is a logical extension of human nature with a lot less information to act on. That's basically what it is. And the same principles that relate to human interaction, they are critical in foreign policy as well. And people can tell whether you respect them. People can tell whether or not you mean it. And so it matters. A little bit of humility goes a long, long way. And guess what? It's warranted, the humility. Yes, ma'am. Or you want me to
I think right over here. How many more questions have we got here, Mr. Vice President?
Look, I don't want to trespass in your time. I'll stay another half an hour if you want me to. But I hate to. Because, or what I can do, if you all have to go, you guys can leave, and I can stay for the folks have questions and go in another room and answer your questions. But I hate like hell you've been waiting. I don't want to. Anyway, go ahead.
Mr. Vice President, it's a great honor to have you here. My name is Konstantinos Papaloukas. I come from Famagusta, Cyprus, and I'm also a vice president of the European Club at the Harvard Kennedy School. And I did raise my hand when you asked the question about European Union. My question. We all know that ISIS exports and illegally sells Iraqi oil via Turkey. And we all know that Turkey supports in many ways Hamas in the Gaza Strip. And we all know that Erdogan is as a president now, is on a clear collision course with both Israel and President Sisi's government in Egypt. In a period where Israel, Cyprus, Greece, Egypt are entering this non-zero-sum game in the Eastern Mediterranean energy map, Turkey is sending a corvette to harass an Italian ship or its navy in the Aegean to patrol the Greek islands in the Aegean, and not for holidays. And my question is, how do the United States of America evaluate Turkey's destabilizing role in the wider area of the Eastern Mediterranean and the Middle East? And is this a potential problem for the United States in the future years? Thank you.
Yes. Look, as you may or may not know, I've been deeply involved, more than anybody left in the Congress, in the Cyprus issue my entire career. As a matter of fact, I'm facetiously referred to by my friends, all kidding aside, as Joe Bidenopoulos. You know where I come from. No, not a joke. I've been passionately engaged in this ever since the illegal occupation.
Maybe the only fill-in.
Now, but here's the deal, guys. I said the world is changing. I just came back from Cyprus. I was with Anastasiasis. I also met with Erolu, with Anastasiasis' blessing. 3 things have occurred. Number one is Turkey fully understands it's no longer in their interest. They have no interest in having troops remaining on Cyprus. None whatsoever. Number one. Number two, Erdogan has made the break with the only constituency to whom occupation mattered, and that was the military. 3, I recently went with him, and he's committed to see me in Ankara to see if we can do 2 things. 1, reach a solution, which he says he will agree to, of a bizonal, bicommunal island. And he is beginning to realize, in my view, and I will not speak for him, that there is an overwhelming self-interest for Turkey in taking advantage of the significant resources, particularly gas, that are in the Eastern Mediterranean, that could play a significant role in liberating not only Turkey, but Greece, a pipeline, Greece, from Russia's use of energy as a weapon. And so what is starting to happen is, and I just met with Astasianas, and I met with the Israelis. There is the possibility that there will be let me put it this way. Nations, when they no longer have a overwhelming interest in the maintenance of status quo, and Turkey does not have an interest in the maintenance of the status quo in Cyprus. And when new opportunities present themselves where they can benefit without looking like they have capitulated, and also Cyprus benefits significantly, things change. We have a great assistant secretary who is in Ankara now and having discussions on this very issue. Because the irony is, just as the one thing that we're going to keep the Kurds in Iraq, which is oil, it's the very thing that may be the lubricant to bring an end to a very unfair circumstances that existed since the late 70s. So the way to deal with it is not to dwell on the past and the wrong, but look at the opportunities presented to see if there's a win-win situation for everybody to get out of this. And the reason I can say that is I'm Irish. And we understand about occupation. We understand about as George Mitchell said in the Irish Accords, there were 700 days of failure and 1 day of success. I believe we'll find the 1 day of success.
Thank you. Right up here.